Carson Wentz is back, but I felt like a goddamn pirate today. Every time he's taking off, I gotta cringe and I gotta watch the game with one eye. But Carson Wentz, it's beautiful to see him back at Lincoln Financial Field and playing again. Philly 500 is here. I am Adrian Fedke. An ugly win. They get the job done. Like I've said before, if you need a go-ahead score with less than 4 minutes to go, you're not scoring on this Eagles defense.
They came up big again when it counted. Derek Barnett with the huge play, game-saving play. Perfect. I mean, they had 2 sacks, I think, the whole game. And they weren't getting a lot of pressure. But in the big moment, they came up big again, and they deserve a lot of credit for that goal line stand because, let's face it, the Eagles were in trouble if they scored a touchdown there by the way the offense was moving the ball all day long.
Oh, yeah. We'll get into that. Just to kind of get some of the quick things out of the way. Wendell Smallwood had a pretty big game. Got to give him his due. They were pecking away with the Smallwood. They were doing it. He was still missing a couple holes, but, hey, those runs up the middle where he was just barreling ahead. He was just pecking away.
Yeah, Smallwood, I mean, big catch, too, down the field.
If he would have caught it a little smoother, it should have been a touchdown, but it wasn't that
right. Yeah, but, hey, Smallwood came up today. I thought Josh Adams was excellent for his first game. I would like to see him get more carries, Hey, they pulled it out. I mean, what can you say? Another heartbreak. I mean, I'm going to have another heart attack probably, but hey, what are you going to do? Take an aspirin. That's all I can do.
Well, we saw it right from the jump. A lot of 2 to 3 tight end sets. Every one of Carson Wentz's 5 completions on that opening drive went to tight ends. 3 of them to Ertz. They scored a touchdown. They went for 3 drives that went for 5+ minutes. And the one that went for the go-ahead score, 11 minutes and 18 seconds off the clock, 17 plays. So they were able to get into a rhythm on like 3 drives, but other than that, it was tough sledding for this offense. Carson Wentz almost cost him the game, to be honest. It's his first game back. It's going to take some time, but he almost gave us one away with those 2 turnovers. Marcus Hunt had a huge game for Indianapolis, just with that second one, I guess the strip sack. I guess that's what it was. What did he do? I guess he just plucked it out of his hand, right?
Well, Carson was trying to step up and he slapped his hand and the ball fumbled. So I guess it's a strip sack. I guess is what you call it.
I guess. Yeah. But he was everywhere. And then the first one was a really bad turnover, just staring down Ertz. And we're kind of talking about that little pre-show. The wide receivers were not getting open. They only had 6 total receptions. But it was actually worse than that for a while because they only had 2 heading into the fourth quarter. And Agholor had those 2 key receptions on that go-ahead drive because you had the 3rd and 6 where he made the move on Darius Leonard, cut inside, got the first down, and then the one on the crossing route where he leaps for the first down. So Agholor, besides those 2 receptions, they didn't really do much in the wide receiving core. It was all the tight ends.
Yeah, it was all the tight ends, and I think that had a lot to do with where that interception came from by Carson because he was staring down Ertz and the tight ends, and they just jumped it. The wide receiver concerns me. It concerns me a lot. I know we brought Jordan Matthews in, but we put him in the slot, and it just seems like when Agholor is on the outside, he's not as effective. He's just not as effective. I want Agholor in the slot, and so the wide receivers really struggled. Now, Carson did miss a few passes down the sideline early, but, the wide receivers really there was nothing there. And they were getting pressure on Carson, so it seemed like they would either get pressure on Carson or they would, make him hold the ball long enough where nothing happened because the receivers couldn't get open. So I really would like to see this all 22. I think it's going to be very interesting to watch. But I think the Eagles got to do something at wide receiver. Without question.
Yeah, so, all right, we'll kind of get in Wentz's game extensively now. 25 of 37, 255 yards, had a touchdown on that opening drive, had those 2 turnovers as well. He also adds 3 rushes for 10 yards. The one, just a beautiful first down. I mean, just vintage Carson Wentz spinning out of the tackle, and he moves the sticks, So, what did I think of his performance? I mean, hey, it's going to take some time, I guess. I thought he would come in here and do better against that secondary, but I also think the Colts defense is a lot better than I think. So I didn't get a chance to watch the Colts the first 2 weeks. I've been really busy, so I didn't get a chance to watch them coming in. But that defense is a lot better than I thought they'd be. I mean, Marcus Hunt and Darius Leonard, those two guys, they look like big-time players for them.
And Darius Leonard came in a couple times unblocked. Right at Carson. And that was horrible. And I got to say this. I thought that some of the play calling was really predictable. Like, you have the first half where Carson's in the shotgun almost every down. Then you bring him up and let him take, the snap under center, and every time they did it, it was a run. And the Colts knew it was a run almost every time. Then the one time they play action, it was like the Colts were expecting it. They blitz Leonard, and then they get Carson on a sack. So I thought some of the play calling at times I didn't like. I just didn't like it.
Yeah. I thought I'll have to watch the All-22, but it seemed like he was a little bit slower processing things than he usually is. So that stuff's going to take some time. I thought he was going to come in here and be a little quicker with everything. And I just thought it was going to be like that, but it wasn't. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it takes time for these guys to get caught up to the speed of the game and into a rhythm. I think you saw that kind of in the one penalty they took where they had to delay a game. Those are, I think, kind of things that happen in preseason. This is really his first game, so I wasn't too worried about it. I also think that, he's definitely not as fast as he was right now, like from a position where he's back to pass, he's getting pressure, and he has to step up and run. He doesn't have that speed. It takes him a while to get going. Once he gets going, he's fine. But I think that'll come back later in the year. And I think we just have to kind of be patient, let Carson work through this, because the things that he does, the rollout, some of the things he does where he stays alive, makes completions first, you can't teach that.
Yeah.
He just has that. And that awareness is unbelievable. And he's got such a rocket arm.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those throws to Goddard in the time. I mean, God, I saw smoke in that thing. But I think it's going to take a while. And that's why I wanted him to play this week, because now he's got a whole game next week, and then you got Minnesota week 5.
Yeah.
Which to me is the big double moonwalk on the ass. And that's when he's going to come.
And that's why it's important, obviously, to get him going before that game. And that's the one. In Minnesota, they took a little beat down today, so that helps out the Birds, obviously. So, hey, at the end of the day here, look, Packers lost, right? And then they lost, so things are kind of working out for Philly.
Hey, and Tennessee won, right? Big win, division win against the Jaguars. Hopefully they'll have a little bit let down, be feeling themselves a little bit next week, and we'll come in,
Oh, I'm telling you right now, the Titans, the way they play, they've got no shot. Because they run the ball on like first and second down, like the way that they play, they run like 70% of the time on first down. They're going to be behind the chains all game. I'm telling you right now, that game's not going to be good. Marcus Mariota's got no chance. But let's get back to this game. Okay, so Wentz, back to him. I also noticed he sailed the ball a couple times. That's kind of like one of his mechanical flaws that comes out, and we saw it, like, I don't know, say 3, 4, 5 overthrows, I want to say. But other than that, man, I mean, it was nice to see him push the ball downfield. That's something that we haven't been seeing from Nick Foles. We got Dallas Goedert, thank God. We were begging for him last week. Josh Perkins out there too. So they're doing the 13 personnel sets, but he drops another ball. Goddard 7 for 73 and a touchdown. So he was the one who had the big day in the offense.
Yeah, Goddard I thought was excellent. And Carson definitely pushes the ball down the field more. He keeps more plays alive. I love Dallas Goedert, dude. I love Goddard. I love Ertz. I love the tight ends. But unfortunately, everybody knows that's where we're going right now. To me, this offense keeps coming back to when are we going to get some receivers. We need Alshon back desperately. We need Alshon back. I think we're going to struggle in the passing game until we get some guys back, because I don't know what we have right now is cutting it. You know, I mean,
It's
I would like to see like Shelton Gibson or Agholor going a deep route, throw a bomb. You know, I really would have liked to see something like that. But it just isn't happening right now. So
it's gonna be ugly, man, until the bye. I'm telling you, the real teams emerge in November. They will look good in November, but until then, it's gonna be a tough little trek. I think it's gonna be like this every week. I mean, it's gonna be a struggle offensively.
Yeah, you got to weather the storm. That, you know, I've kept saying this for a couple weeks. We got to weather the storm early, and that's what we're doing. Today was a perfect example. We pulled the game out that we could have lost. We could have lost this game. We could have lost the first game, but we're 2-1. We pulled it out, and you know what? Hopefully next week we get a couple guys back, and then the week after, and we start getting into something because I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Well, the thing about this game, I'm curious to see how my scoring is going to pan out, right? Because you know I do like the play-by-play scoring, and I got a feeling that the Eagles probably like dominated in the scoring because the way that they held the ball for 40 minutes, it was those two Carson Wentz turnovers that led to the two field goals. So the
penalties.
The penalties. Yeah,
I mean,
penalties. 10 for 110. That's just like, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's come back on a penalty.
It felt like they controlled the game. It did. And like I didn't feel like they were going to lose the game, but like it was just a quirky game. It was a weird game.
Yeah, and really the Colts' two biggest plays come downfield on Jalen Mills' pass interferences. I mean, I don't understand. Like, I'm not as down on Jalen Mills as other people, but I just don't understand why they don't put Darby on the speed receiver that can stretch a field. Because I think up close, I think physical receiver, I think Jalen Mills handles better than those speed guys.
Yes.
You know, it's so obvious. And they knew when they were trying to go down the field to take the game-winning drive, the first guy they go to downfield, they go up right against, they throw at Jalen Mills. You know? So
I'm surprised they didn't try to go to T.Y. Hilton more on that, you know, because Hilton, they kind of kept him in check. Five receptions for 50 yards, but he did draw those two penalties. But I'll say this for Jalen Mills, too, because I'm sure he got a lot of heat for the two penalties, but you take those two penalties away, he actually had a really good game.
He had a great game, yeah. He had a great game. When he has to come up, make a tackle, or it's a short pass, he does great, you know. And that's why I'm not as down on Jalen Mills as some people. But I just think that Schwartz can put him in better positions to be successful. If they would just switch him and Darby and let Darby take that speed receiver, I think they would do better. I really do.
They just don't switch sides. They don't do that. They just don't. And again, I'm surprised they didn't try to, you know, take advantage more of it. But you're dead spot on about the physical receivers thing, because they had him isolated on Eric Ebron was isolated on Jalen Mills and got physical with him, made the play. And that's the good Jalen Mills. When he's matched up with bigger bodied guys, he can take care of them, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, it surprised me that, like you were saying, they didn't go to T.Y. Hilton, but the Colts deked and dunked all day long. That if I was a Colts fan, I would have been, like, so frustrated with that offense. Because, I mean, I don't know. At one point, I think in the first half, luck in the first half. It wasn't much. It was a lot of short passes, you know, really didn't do much. Those big penalties really hurt us. And then those turnovers. But other than that, you know, the defense is good in the red zone, though. They can force field goals, and that's a big thing. That's a big deal, you know?
Yeah.
Man.
Just a different defense at home. And getting back to the Mills thing, man, because he did temporarily get hurt. And the Eagles fans, they did not get what they wanted because Sid Jones stayed inside. It was I was telling, you know, because like I was like last week thinking, and you know, it sucks because Brennan and I made an awesome film room show last week and it didn't work because my internet sucked. But we looked at like all Jalen Mills' receptions, and we kind of determined at the end it's kind of more on the way that Jim Schwartz utilizes him than Mills. You can't just keep him off coverage, and just he's getting beat like a drum.
Yeah.
But the other thing we were talking about, we were like, okay, well, if they do make a move, like, are you really comfortable with putting somebody like Avonte Maddox in the slot? And Brennan and I were both like, people are just going to take advantage of that. And we saw today, if Mills got hurt, Sidney Jones didn't move outside. He stayed inside. They put Rasul outside.
Yeah. Yeah, they're content with keeping Sidney Jones inside for sure. Hey, they're going to do what they're going to do. The other thing was Rodney McLeod got hurt.
Yeah.
It didn't look good.
Yeah.
And, you're going to hear this. I'm going to say it first because you're going to hear this. If he's hurt for a significant amount of time, how many people are going to be asking that we trade for Earl Thomas?
Well, as amazing as that would be, I don't think it's happening.
I don't think it's happening. But, I know it's coming, though. It's coming. There's no question about it. And
it takes me back to the offseason. That's when you experiment with things, and you never experimented with Jalen Mills at safety.
No.
That's what I want. I wanted him to play safety and Jones to be on the outside.
Yeah, I want Rasul Douglas at safety. I think he could be a great safety because he's kind of got that nose for the ball.
You got the ball.
But I mean, it's funny because this season, in some ways, like it like with the receivers hurt and the offense not having those receivers, it does seem like 2016. But if you think about last year, okay, we win the first game, then we lose the second game, then we barely escape against the Giants in the third game where they had to kick the 60-something yarder. It's almost like the same.
Oh, it's the same pattern. It's the same pattern. Yeah. You're going to get incrementally better each and every week. And week 5 was the week last year when they took off. That's the first game that Carson Wentz had his 3-touchdown game against the Cardinals. They just went and started beating the shit out of everybody. So I don't think it's going to happen by week 5 though. That's the thing because Wentz, this is his first game, obviously. Yeah. They might win an ugly game against Minnesota, but we'll see. And I'm hoping by Jacksonville. By the time that they play Jacksonville, I'm hoping that's when the offense kind of gets humming. Because even when Jeffrey comes back, it's going to take time for him. But we're really seeing just how important he is to the offense. Last year, it's like people will talk about his yards and the fact that he never had a 100-yard receiving game. He takes so much pressure off everybody else in the offense. I mean, you got him the go-to receiver. All of a sudden, Zach Ertz becomes your number 2. And that's an awesome number 2 as your tight end, as your top option. Agholor moves, he's your number 3 from the slot. It's just a huge difference. Yeah.
No, it is. Totally is. And I think they're saying that they're hopeful he's going to play this week. So that'll be good to get him out there.
Yeah.
And Ajayi is out. Sproles is out. And Corey Clement scared the hell out of me in the punt return.
He needs to stop. No, yeah. No more
he takes way too many chances.
No more punt returns for you, Corey. So I saw that quote earlier in the week, actually, my man Marcos Levy pointed out to me. So Doug Pederson was talking about, are you going to give him the carries because, he's doing special teams as the punt returner. Now, he did wind up getting 16 carries, so he actually got his totes. But it was interesting that was brought up. I'm done with him. When's Sproles coming back? Because he needs to be the punt returner.
Yeah. I mean, even put Agholor back there because he fumbled the one.
He doesn't look comfortable at all.
No, it scared the crap out of me, dude. We need somebody else back there. I would put Nelson there. Hopefully Sproles is back. I mean, didn't Avonte Maddox, didn't he do punt returns in college? I mean, give him a chance. He's pretty fast. But Corey Clement scares the crap out of me. Punt returns. Every punt, I'm like, oh, God, please. I mean, he had the one catch where he should have just fair caught it. The guy hits him right away. He fumbles the ball. He's very uncomfortable looking taking those punt returns for sure. So hopefully Sproles is back. Hopefully Ajayi is back. All those guys come back. It's going to help. It's going to take pressure off Carson. The big one, of course, is Alshon. And I think they're working out Macklin this week.
So we'll see. I still think you need to make a trade. I still would like to see Devontae Parker somehow acquire him. They got to do something. I feel like they got to do something before the deadline.
I've made the point about Josh Gordon already. I'm not going to say it again because people will just get pissed off. They're sick of me talking about it. I'm like EDP right now. EDP wanted Joe Mixon. I wanted Josh Gordon. All right, but we'll see. I've even told you, man. Like even if he got freaking tested positive or whatever, it's okay with me if you give up the 5th round pick. I am willing to take a chance on it because of how close he can be.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Totally agree.
No more Josh. He's in New England now. Past the past. Didn't happen. So now I'm looking at it like, all right, well, you've got to wait a couple weeks, obviously, if some teams are bad, right? But there is one team. I'm looking at Arizona, like that team's not going anywhere. And I don't know if Larry would want to leave, but I'm looking at Larry Fitzgerald, be like, hey, you want to win a Super Bowl before you retire?
Yes, Larry Fitzgerald would be perfect. I'm all for that move. I think that, that may be a situation where it may work out. He may not want to play for that. You just hope that they lose every game so that they force it. You know what I mean? The Raiders is another interesting team. Like, they're 0-3? They lost to Miami today. I wonder if they would part with any wide receivers.
I know who you're looking at.
I don't think they would, but
I don't think they would either. Because more so because of the Khalil Mack thing. Like they've already gotten eviscerated for that.
Yeah.
John Gruden have the gall to do something else. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But these are the teams you have to look at that are going to be out for somewhere around there where it's like apparent that team's out. That's when you can maybe pluck somebody that you didn't think was possible before. So definitely have to keep our eyes open. But I still think my leading candidate is Devontae Parker, Miami. I think he's the guy that they could probably get if they push it. And if not,
I'll tell you what, though, if them being 3-0, they might not want to do anything.
I know. The question is, did he play? I mean, they kind of sat him a couple times, and he didn't want to sit. So,
look, dude, they traded Jai last year. So if they traded Jai, why not?
That's very true. I'm going to try and see what he did today. Obviously, we've talked about it, I'm not big on Parker as you are.
Yeah.
But this team needs help. That I'm not going to disagree about if they made a move. So
I think if Devontae Parker is a second wide receiver, he's not coming in and being the number one guy because you have Alshon. But as a compliment to him, I think he would be. I think he could fit the role.
Yeah. All right. I'm trying to see and look what Parker did today. He 2 catches for 40 yards. But oh Jesus! Hold on. Of course, the thing comes up. So their leading they had 3 guys with 3 receptions, and then 4 guys with 2 receptions. They were spreading the ball out. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, how about Carson? 7 straight catches
to tight ends to start the game.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what, though, man. I was asking for that the first 2 weeks, and I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then we finally got it.
Yeah.
God. And it's like last week, it's like Doug Pederson, after the game, was trying to explain himself about Goddard. Dude, even if you're lining him up in the Richard Rodgers role, figure out the pass plays, get him involved. Finally, they did it. Yeah. Jesus.
And Perkins drops the.
He stinks. He stinks. There were actually people that were defending Doug Pederson last week. I'm like, listen, it's okay to have an off game, all right? It doesn't mean I hate Doug Pederson. He had an off game. I just call it like I see it. Don't be mad at me.
Yeah.
Mad at him. He didn't use Goddard. He used him today. Look what happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Goddard. I like Goddard. I like Ertz. Perkins, not so much. And, these wide receivers, though. Where's Shelton Gibson? Where is he?
I mean, I don't even see him.
I really don't like Nelson Agholor on the outside too. I can't say that enough. Like I really want him back in the slot. Carson missed him though on a touchdown pass where Malik Hooker.
Yeah,
You know,
Malik
I mean,
Hooker.
if just a little bit higher, that's a touchdown.
Malik Hooker can range. That's what he's known for.
Yeah.
He can range. Yeah. All right. So with that Agholor thing, right? So when you're in the slot, obviously you got more room. He's so quick and jittery. So you can cut inside, you can cut outside, whatever you want to do. You got so much room to operate, so much room after the catch to make your move. And that's why he's so dangerous. Because when he's on the outside, it's like you'll run him on some crossing routes and maybe like a deep crossing route. But he doesn't really have the awareness on the outside like he does inside. The spatial awareness is a lot better when he's in the slot. He needs to stay in there. He just does.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And the perfect example is between him and Jordan Matthews is I think it was a third and 12 or third and 9. I can't remember. It was third and long. I think the Eagles wind up going for a fourth down and getting it. But they Carson throws a crossing pass to Jordan Matthews, which is like 3 yards short. Matthews wasn't fast enough to get around that.
Oh, yeah.
If that's Agholor turns it up and it's first down.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Agholor would have gotten a first down on that.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't fast enough. And I'm not trying to bash him. I'm just saying that's why Agholor, I want him in the slot. I think he's
that's the difference right there. And like the way that Andy Reid and Doug Pederson, the way that they utilize the slot receiver, it's not the same way that Chip Kelly uses a slot receiver. So, like,
right.
Carson Wentz's rookie year, they were kind of scheming for Jordan, but now it's like it's different now. The slot is just it's not schemed for Jordan, schemed for Nelson now. It's schemed the way that they want it to be schemed, and I don't know. We'll see moving forward, kind of how this works out. I'm also going to watch the tape to see how many times he lined up inside too. So
yeah,
I'm curious.
I tried every time I tried to see, he was pretty much on the outside. I think there was once or twice where he was in the slot. But yeah, I want to look at the all 22. I also want to see if Wentz is just slow in his reads right now because
he definitely is. Because even the do you remember the play where he had Ertz at the goal line? And the linebacker got there like a split second before.
Right.
Oh, and Ertz turned it like that. If he throws it before
he throws it a second quicker, that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about with the processing. It's just like a second slow. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just he's 9.5 months removed from the goddamn ACL and LCL. What do you expect? I mean,
yeah.
Like I said though, like I was kind of wrong because I expected a little bit better today because I thought the Colts defense was worse than I thought it was. So it was better than I thought it was, and then we got this from Carson instead. So
yeah. I mean, overall for Carson, I'm not upset at his performance. I think not 180 days I said or something like that. No preseason, nothing for the first game. It wasn't perfect, but I thought that he did enough to win, and I was okay. I'm okay with where he's at right now. After this game, and I think he'll get better as time goes. So I have no complaints about him. I just worry that the wide receiver position, there's nothing there right now, and he was focusing too much on the tight ends to the point where he throws an interception because he's staring Ertz down.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. Absolutely. All right, the defensive line was like, It didn't get as much pressure as I would have liked. They only had 2 sacks, but Barnett, the big one at the end. But someone who did have a big game, and somebody who is, well, he's making a statement. And if he keeps playing like this, he could be Defensive Player of the Year. And that is Fletcher Cox. And that deep penetration. Deep. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fletcher Cox is, dude, the guy is dominating, dude.
He is dominating, and I thought he was great. I thought he was great today, especially there were a couple plays where he didn't make the tackle, but he blows up the play. You know what I mean? He pushes the guy back, forces the running back to go another way, and somebody else makes the tackle. Fletcher Cox could easily be Defensive Player of the Year this year. He's definitely a candidate for sure.
Oh my God, the girth of Cox, the thickness of Cox, just he was manhandling people today.
Yeah, he was girthy for sure.
Oh, just massive.
Yeah,
they were getting the BBC today.
He was. I would have liked to see more pressure though on Luck from the outside. It didn't happen except for, of course, Derek Barnett at the end, big clutch sack, and that's 2 weeks in a row where I think they didn't get a lot of pressure. And I'm always going to say this about Schwartz. I would like to see more blitzes. I really would like to see more blitzes. He just doesn't do it. But when it mattered, in the end, they got it done. Derek Barnett got it done, and that's what counts.
I mean,
to me, that's what counts for them.
The coverage was clearly good all game because they were checking down a lot. You check down because the coverage is good downfield.
Yeah,
so,
they were checking down the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, 25 completions to get 164 yards. That's not good, So
not at all.
They weren't getting much, and then they weren't running the ball either. The only run they had was the Luck run for 33 yards. Besides that, they did nothing.
Yeah, he beat Long around the corner.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's why I said the two biggest plays for the Colts were those pass interference plays. Those were the biggest plays of the day for them.
Yeah.
So, he did, deke and dunk, and I think the defense, they played well enough to win. They got the job done. And look, you go to 2-1, you weather the storm, and then hopefully next week we get a little better, get some guys back. And I'm interested to see what happens with Rodney McLeod now, because that didn't look good at all.
Yeah. All right, I think that's about it. I'm gonna see if I can pull up the chat from today. This is something we haven't been doing the first 2 weeks. We haven't looked at the comments yet. I don't think we have, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah. All right. Well,
nope.
It's taking some time to get there. Did we miss anything? We pretty much covered the game, right?
I think so. I'm trying to think what we could have missed.
Yeah, I don't think we missed anything. Let's see. What notes I took some notes. Let's see what notes I took. I took notes that I haven't even looked at yet. I think I got everything. Okay. Well, I'm going to the chat right now, so let's see what the people have to say.
Notes that I didn't have.
Let's see. Some people want Antonio Brown. Now, here's the thing about Antonio Brown. He's too much money. You're not going to be able to get him.
They're not trading him anyways.
Yeah. Jimmy G, torn ACL. MCL, that's not good.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it is. People agree with the more blitzes. I agree too. People are updating us on Dak Prescott, 2 for 7 for 4 yards and an interception.
Sounds like
that sounds like a Hall of Famer right there, guys.
Yeah, that's
but you know what? I kind of don't want him to suck this bad. I want him to do okay, so he gets a contract extension.
Yeah, give him a contract extension.
Give it to him.
Give him some more yogurt.
Let him eat his heart's content. All I know is Carson plays first drive of the game. He's already got as many touchdown passes on the year as Dak Prescott. What does that say?
I think Dallas loses today. I said I think they're going to lose because Seattle is in a must-win situation here. They can't go 0-3 or they're done. So I think that Seattle has a good chance to win, and that should start some stuff. Seattle just scored a touchdown, matter of fact. So they're up. That's beautiful.
Trying to see. Yeah, I mean, not much like question-wise. People were just like commenting.
Yeah. Well, I am worried about McLeod. That's my big worry right now. Is how bad is McLeod hurt, and when can Alshon Ajayi and Sproles get back?
Yeah,
those are the big things for me. Carson, for the most part, I think Carson was what I expected in terms of he wasn't going to be, he wasn't going to be what he was at the end of the last year. He was going to be rusty. He was going to miss throws. He was going to be possibly slow in some reads, and it was exactly pretty much what I thought. except for you forget about how magical he is and the ability to create stuff out of nothing. And you just know once he gets back and once he gets some weeks under his belt, he's going to be dominating again. It's going to be awesome.
F. Deems, who's formerly Foolish. I'm just going to call you Foolish Demon. I don't like saying F. Deems. Just Foolish Demon. You're Foolish Demon. Agholor isn't an outside receiver because he can't track the deep ball. Not only can he not track I don't think he's good with bracket coverage either. So it's just a different ball game outside.
Well, and see, that's my worry is because
I don't mind bringing Jordan Matthews in for depth, but when you put him in the slot and you move Agholor to the outside, are you creating two different problems? Are you taking two spots and lowering how good it is? And I kind of don't want that. I want Agholor to be where he is, because if you put him in the slot and you get Alshon back, then you only have one spot that you really need help at. But if you're putting Agholor on the outside and he's struggling, then you have two spots. So, that's my concern.
Yeah. Oh, EDP's in the house. EDP was laughing at the Joe Mixon line. He wanted Joe Mixon. I wanted Josh Gordon.
What's up, EDP? How you doing, buddy?
Devontae Graham. I don't know if that's the Devontae Graham formerly of Kansas, but Smallwood actually played good. Give him his props. LOL. We did give him his props, though.
Yeah.
We actually gave it to him right in the beginning. That was one of the first things we did.
Yeah, we gave him props.
He away with the Smallwood. He was slamming it in the hole.
Inch by inch. Yeah. Like a gentleman.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing it for 3 hours, man.
Look, Smallwood.
Yes, it's not about the size; it's how you work it sometimes.
I thought Smallwood. I thought this might have been his best game, to be honest with you.
And I thought Josh
honestly,
Adams
this
was really
is
good.
Probably the best game he's ever played. Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah. So Smallwood definitely deserves credit. Great job,
Smallwood. I mean, great job. But do it next week. Do it the week after. Let's see it consistent. Yeah, I thought Josh Adams was good.
Well, I was about to say, Optimus Prime wanted our thoughts on Josh Adams.
I thought Josh Adams
ran the ball really good, really hard. Once he gets north-south, he's got some nice speed, dude. I would like to see him be more involved in the offense. When Ajayi Sproles comes back, if you're going to keep 4 running backs dressed, I would keep him dressed before I would keep Smallwood. But I thought he did a great job. I was very happy with Josh Adams today.
And this is the thing with him. I've made this point before. He needs a good offensive line because, when he gets that head of steam moving forward, he's tough to bring down. He's a little slow to start. So if there's no holes, he's not going to churn out a couple. He's going to go down for no gain. But if the line is able to churn, some push forward, and he gets a head of steam going forward, that's what we saw today with Josh Adams, and that's the good Josh Adams. So yeah, he had a good game.
And it was nice to see Jason Peters finish the game.
Yeah,
it was so nice to see him play
the whole game. So I was happy about that. And I liked when they ran to Peter's side, especially they did a couple of pitch outs to Adams, which allowed him to get going and then turn that corner. I thought they ran good. I think Corey Clement ran the ball really good too. I mean, they could have actually ran the ball more. It wouldn't have been a bad thing at all.
Yeah, there were a couple times where they ran the toss play to Clement and Darius Leonard was just flying. Oh my god, dude! I was very impressed with him, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he made a couple plays on Clement, and he only averaged 3.5 yards per carry in this one, something like that. So
he had that one big run called back.
What's that?
That one big run he had, I think it was like a 20 or 30-yard run called back.
That's true.
I think Goddard was holding.
Yeah, that would have made a huge difference.
Yeah.
Somebody is wondering, would we want to trade? So for the Lions, would we rather trade for Marvin Jones or Golden Tate? Jay the GOAT.
I would take Marvin Jones only because I think Golden Tate's a slot receiver, right? So
yeah. You want the outside guy. Actually, if you remember, if we did our bitter dingbats, and that was the first guy on my list was Marvin Jones.
Yeah, that was your first guy. Yeah,
I
would take Marvin Jones
for a lot of different reasons. He's a guy that's going to stretch the field. He can track the ball deep. You want that with a guy like Alshon Jeffrey on the other side. So you bring Marvin Jones in, it's like you got all the levels covered. So you got Jeffrey on the intermediate with the back shoulder or whatever you want to do with that. Agholor in the slot, he's just working underneath, getting those yak yards. Because, see, it opens up the things for him too. Because Marvin Jones, he's running down the field. It's everything right now is like cluttered. You have the tight ends and you're working everything. There's not a lot of room for Agholor to maneuver. Although we did see him a little bit, but not to the full extent of last year so far.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think Marvin Jones would be a great fit here. Detroit's got to lose some more games though. Were they 0-2? If they lose today, 0-3, then you may start to think about it. But Marvin Jones would be a great fit. Anything that, to me, can have somebody to stretch the field on the opposite side of Alshon and put Agholor back in the slot. And you can even keep Jordan Matthews as a backup, depth, whatever. But I want Agholor in that slot, dude. I do. The one play where Malik Hooker made a great play, that was Agholor in the slot. And look how open he was running down the field. That's where you want Agholor. That's where he's comfortable. And, Marvin Jones would be great. Are you kidding? I would love that.
Trying to see. All right, so okay. I think that's pretty much it with the questions. All right. There's questions. It's like somebody's asking Chaos the Filthy. Hey Philly and Adrian, do you think the Eagles need another linebacker? I think they're good with the linebacker spot.
I think they're good with the linebacker spot too.
Yeah.
They like to play those two linebackers. I think they're good. To me, the big concern right now is that wide receiver spot and just getting healthy. Those are the keys right now. I definitely I expect Howie Roseman to make a move. I expect something. I don't believe he's going to stay this conservative. I think that they're going to make a move. But I think what happens is people want to move after week 2, after week 1. A lot of these teams aren't giving up on their season until they 0-3, 0-4 to right around there. So you have to kind of wait a little longer in a year before something opens up for you. So I think he's just being patient. But I do think something will happen. I really do.
Yeah. So Walter Hopewell is saying trade Foles to the Niners for Marquise Goodwin. Obviously, you had the injury to Garoppolo today. I don't know. I don't think they would trade Marquise Goodwin for Foles, though. They'd probably give up a pick, though.
But you know what? That is this. You may see Foles get traded at some point with one of these quarterbacks get injured. Team is desperate. I don't know that the 49ers would do it, but that's a huge loss for the Niners, man.
That's a shame. That is a shame.
Philly 0024. You guys think about the Chargers for Tyrell Williams? That was another guy.
Yeah,
that I brought up during our show.
Tyrell Williams would be fine.
Yeah.
I guess there's no chance of Keenan Allen, but
I love Keenan Allen. The reason why I say Tyrell Williams is that because they got Mike Williams as their fourth guy right now. They can kind of push him up the depth chart a little bit. Yeah. So, there's one more question about Mitch Trubisky. Adrian, so Cod XRYU says, Adrian, are you high on Mitchell Trubisky? I think the Bears traded way too much to get him. I was one of the few people that wasn't a Trubisky guy. I did not have him ranked first like everybody else. I had Deshaun Watson ranked ahead of him. So the fact that they traded up one spot to get the guy that wasn't even the best quarterback in the draft, yes, they did. And Patrick Mahomes was that draft, so it's looking like he's a stud. Kansas City got themselves a stud. So Trubisky right now looks like the third guy in that class.
Yeah, he does. I wasn't big on Trubisky coming out, but I thought he did some good things last year, and I kind of liked him from what I saw. As long as he can progress. But my guy coming out of college was Deshaun Watson. I could not believe he didn't go sooner. So yeah, I agree.
There was another one, right? That went. I'm trying to remember. Who was the other guy that went? Wasn't there 4 that went, or was it only 3?
I think it was 3.
Okay, so it was 3.
I think it was 3.
Because Mahomes went before Watson.
Kansas City traded up. They traded a big trade up, right?
Yeah, Mahomes went before Watson. Whatever. All right, we'll do final thoughts. We'll get out of here.
Okay, so
I would say this. My final thoughts are Carson is back. And to me, he showed again flashes of why he is an elite franchise quarterback. He wasn't perfect. It's going to take time for him to get going. And you got to weather the storm early. You have to weather the storm early like we did. We're 2-1. Now we need to find some help on the receiver end, get guys back, get healthy, and just keep going. And to me, I'll take this victory today. Hard fought victory, but these are the kind of games you have to win.
Yeah. Yep. And Alan Barney checks in. He thinks I'm thinking of Deshaun Kaiser. That's probably what I'm thinking of. I know he went in the second round, though. That's probably what it is, because there were 4 quarterbacks last year. Okay. Yeah, that's probably what it was. All right, so you make the point there. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same way. Carson Wentz, he's back. It's great. It's awesome. It's going to take some time. It's going to take a couple weeks. I just hope that Howie Roseman helps him out. I hope they make a move. We'll see. By the way, somebody commented in my comment section that I shout him out, but I forget who it was. But he said something that if you sign player after week 3 and you cut him before the season, you don't have to pay him. If that's the case.
Wait. So if you cut a guy after week 3 and then cut him, you don't have to pay him.
And cut him before the season ends, you don't have to pay him.
Gotcha.
It may be right. Yeah.
If this is true, I will look into this. But if this is true, they should, without hesitation, bring in Des Bryant.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you don't have to pay him if he screws up.
Yeah.
To me, I would have brought Des Bryant in before Jordan Matthews, because I think he could offer more.
Oh, my God.
But I understand what they wanted from Jordan Matthews. They wanted somebody that could come in and know the offense this week.
Yeah.
Because they only had 3 healthy guys.
They had nobody.
They got Adrian. They got to do something. Just getting Alshon back is great, but you got a giant hole on that other side, and they got to figure out something for it. They got to figure out something. Somebody on this team, Shelton Gibbs, somebody's got to step up, but they got to figure something out, because right now, it's killing us. It's killing us.
Yeah. All right, that's our show for today. Eagles win it 20-16. They moved to 2-1 in the season. It wasn't pretty, but it was pretty. They won the football game. That's all that matters. That's Philly 500. I'm Adrian Petke. Take care.
Peace.